Hello and welcome to tonight's TNT webinar. My name is Michelle DeMarco and I'm a Diamond Coach with Blake and Angie Warrington, and I'm very excited to talk to you tonight about our topic, which is the new Coach Basics training. And this is something that I think has just been one of those projects that have been in the works, and it's going to be the tool that you are going to go to grow your team exponentially. It is going to be one of the biggest helps to your business and take a lot of the burden off of you when when you're not really sure, okay, what should I do with my new coaches? How do I guide them? How do I best serve my coaches and grow my team properly? This is going to take that burden off of your shoulders, and I'm so excited to talk to you about it tonight. And so I am going to introduce my partner tonight who's going to help me go through these awesome tips and tricks of what you need to do for Coach Basics, and that is my dear friend and mentor, Angie Warrington. She is an outstanding multiple star diamond, and I have to tell you, I met her, I was very fortunate to meet her years ago, and we just instantly bonded and became friends. And she is one of the warmest, kindest people I've ever met, and she's one of those people that she truly cares about every single person in her organization, and she truly, but you can just feel the energy when you talk to her. If you ever have an opportunity to talk to Angie, make sure you go up to her and say hi, because she is one of the just most friendliest and caringest persons I've ever known. And it's such a privilege to be on her team, because every single time I just come up against a wall or anything I need in my business, I know I can turn to Blake and Angie at any time, and they are always full of suggestions and help and really just support. They're kind of those people that they just say, you know what, whatever you need, we're here for you, but we know you got this too. So they're also very awesome about letting you know how much power you have. And they've been one of the most inspirational people in helping me grow my business. And so it's just a great pleasure that I get to introduce my partner tonight, Angie Warrington. She's going to help us get through these slides. And Angie, I just want to turn it over to you for a second. Let you say hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm blushing, and Michelle, thank you for that lovely introduction, and right back at you. I like to call Michelle my partner in crime. We have so much fun doing this business together, and that's one of the many reasons I love working with her. She's a great dear friend, but she's so fun to do this business with, and like she said, this Coach Basics is going to make your business so much more fun. It's so duplicatable, and it's going to make your time spent with your coaches on your team. You're going to be able to bond, and you're going to have relationships kind of like with like Michelle and I feel so very fortunate that we get to hang out, and I wish she lived next door to me, but we probably wouldn't get anything done.
That's true.
But I'm so fortunate to work with Michelle, because I'm kind of the girl that says squirrel all the time, and so we have this great chemistry in our business relationship. She helps me stay on track, because I'm not a shiny object person, but I'm easily distracted. and that's going to tie back into starting with the Coach Basics. The Coach Basics are going to help you from getting distracted. And Michelle and I were talking about this before the call. We were saying, gosh, I wish we had this when we started. But we're so glad and so fortunate that Beachbody took this last year to hammer this out and fine-tune it, because I think this is going to be such a huge game changer. And Michelle and I are both so excited that we have it now, this last quarter of the year.
Yeah.
Because don't you think, Michelle, because if we really hit this hard and we get people going through this, everybody's going to have such great momentum going into January.
Yes, totally agree.
Yeah, so with that, well, let's just go ahead and get started. We're just going to do an overview, and we're going to share some of our insights about the Coach Basics program, and you'll hear a little bit about what we're doing for our Coach Basics training. We'll kind of pepper that in there a little bit, so maybe give you guys some ideas that are leaders on here. And for new coaches, you'll hear a little bit about what's going to be kind of expected from you, from your leaders that are going to be taking you through this 60-day program. So it's really nice. They've got it broken down into 2 modules. You got your first 30 days, and the first 30 days are going to really kind of hit home about earning enough income to to cover your Shakeology or whatever product you have on Home Direct. Your second goal, 30 days, is to start having you hit Success Club 5 and advance to Emerald. We're going to tweak that a little bit, aren't we, Michelle? We kind of have an alpha program we're kind of going to throw in there for our teams. So we'll talk to you a little bit more about that. Or I guess we could talk about it now, what we're kind of thinking about doing, or actually not thinking, we are doing.
Yes, we're gonna, and real quick, just before you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no, you're fine.
I just want everyone to know, during the webinar, if you have questions, don't wait till the end to enter them. Enter them on the right-hand side. You should see an area where you can enter questions. So make sure you're typing out any questions that come up for you as we go through these slides, okay?
Perfect. So just so we personally feel in our business that Emerald can be really done in your first 30 days, if not your first week. So we have what we are going to build into our business basics. It's going to be an accelerated program for the people that we call our alphas that are going to really just want to crush this thing in 30 days. So we're going to be looking to those folks that really want to get through this basics, business basics in 30 days. We'll probably hit Emerald in 7 days, and if possible, Ruby or Diamond by the end of 30 days, or it could roll into the 60 days. But we're going to still run it as a 60-day program, but we're going to have a little accelerated program in there for those who really are hungry. So we just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, and why would you want to get to Emerald fast? What's so important about getting to Emerald for anyone that's new on the call? Can you explain that?
Yeah, this is really important. When you open up your checking account, don't you always open up a savings account? And I always tell people, look at being Emerald as a savings account, because the minute you become an Emerald and you're an active Emerald, you are going to start banking that volume, and bank volume is your savings account. It's going to build and build and build until you can start cycling. So that's why we really encourage the coaches that we sponsor into the business, and we break it down to them. We talk about the strategy of where they're at in the business, and who do you know that wants Shakeology or core nutrition, or we have a gazillion great products. We can get people plugged into the products that work best for them, Shakeology being the first thing we always suggest. But being an Emerald is so important because, like I said, you're building your bank account. You want to start banking your volume ASAP. I just hate for anybody to wait for 60 days. I'd rather get them that first 7 days and start building them on the right track.
Great. Okay, perfect. All right. Now, who do you include in the Coach Basics group? You're going to invite all your coaches, even if they're not new. Personally, I would just, if you have someone that's just kind of been dabbling, that would be an ideal candidate as well. So I don't necessarily think you should just do new coaches. I would throw it out there to your whole team. Personally sponsored and, go depth. You can invite people that are your personally sponsored coaches, existing coaches on your team who want to get re-engaged. That's what I just mentioned. Include all the upline sponsors of participants. So if you have Jane who sponsored Mary, and Mary's really excited about it, make sure that you're including Jane as well. And maybe just by seeing Mary get fired up, maybe Jane will plug back in. So, and then schedule time with each participating coach to go over the prerequisites and the 7-day quick start so that you truly understand their why before the program begins. Why is that? Because you're going to be able to hit their hot buttons, because not everyone is motivated by the same stuff. So if you know specifically that, a certain coach on your team, well, right now all they want to do is their #1 priority is to pay their car bill. They want to make that car payment every month using their Beachbody money. Their hot button. You can start inspiring them with little, successes that's going to make them hear and see that they're getting to their goal. Same thing if someone wants to achieve the Success Club trip, you're going to maybe send them pictures of a cruise or something like that where they're just going to get fired up and know exactly what they're shooting for. This is going to ensure that they're prepared and that you're going to be able to hold them accountable.
Yeah, I guess their mind in the game.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm clicking.
It's thinking. Okay, and this program is so well organized, it's going to help you get organized. So when they're saying start the group on the first Monday of the month, that way you can kind of track everybody's Success Club points. But gosh, I kind of feel like if you're starting on the second or third week, I mean, it's just better to get started. Why wait 2 or 3 more weeks until the next month starts, right? The sooner the better. So when you have new coaches join your team mid-month, this is where you kind of have to decide where to kind of put them. And Blake and I have kind of been talking to Michelle about some things. You know, so if you have a coach that comes in and we're in the second week of the basics, you know, we're trying to think of something that we always have a 7-day quick start starting every Monday of the week, just so people feel like they're going through the process quicker. We don't want anybody waiting. So you just kind of have to decide whether they join an existing group, do they wait, you know, but this is what's the beauty of this program is, you know, the most important thing is that they get through, you know, the getting started, the 7-day quick start, excuse me, before they get started. That's just got to be the very first thing they do. But then you can decide how you're going to personalize your business basics, and you're going to find different coaches doing different things. And so when you join if somebody on this call joins one of our Coach Basics, you'll see how we map it out and how we implement and put people in that come in maybe at the middle of the month.
Great. And then read through the daily guide so you're familiar with the daily posts. I'll show, if I have time, if we have time at the end, I'll show you. I have it pulled up on the screen in the background. But there's this awesome PDF that they've put together where you basically cut and paste the posts that they have, you know, written out for us, and you put it in your group. So they've made this super easy for you. Hootsuite is a great option because the reason that's a great tool is it's $5 a month, and you can actually upload, I think it's 50 scheduled posts at a time. So you could actually load the posts that Beachbody has given you, schedule them, and then boom, they hit your group every single day, and you don't even have to do anything that particular day with what Beachbody has given you. The 2 modules can be uploaded, and the posts can automatically be scheduled. So I just said, okay. And then Hootsuite should not be a replacement for your daily interaction. So just because you've scheduled your posts, in other words, you don't want to not ever show up. You still want to be there and answer questions and interact and have conversations. But what happens is if you do schedule them, that's one thing that's off your plate that gives you more time for personalized attention.
Yeah, that's a great way where you can make little comments under that Hootsuite comment. And I like to call people out, not call them out, but I like to say, hey, Michelle DeMarco, what do you think about that? And then it kind of, for shy people, it kind of gets them engaged in the conversation. That's just something, that's my little trick I do to get people to talk to me.
That's actually a great tool.
And then consider creating videos. We heard at Leadership, a lot of the coaches that were part of this beta group popped in some personalized videos for the daily posts. And but definitely use the recommended posts for the content for your video, so you're kind of staying, you know, congruent with everything, and then you're not trying to recreate the wheel. And they kind of really try to hit home. Posting videos on a regular basis builds a strong, better relationship with some of your coaches, especially since we all have coaches all over the country and now Canada. Those videos really help people connect eyeball to eyeball a little bit more. They get to know you and hear your voice. Also encourage your participants. How important this is, because you want to make sure those daily action steps are someplace where you always can find them. And one of the things I had to do for myself, and that I now teach my new coaches to do, is to have a notebook or binder just for Beachbody. And this is the same thing for the Coach Basics. Just have this notebook all organized for your daily action steps, so you can jot things down and make notes, and it will make such a huge difference in your organization, your time management, and then you'll have those things right at your fingertips when you need to reference back to them.
Yeah, I think this is, I wish I could turn the camera on real quick and show my Beachbody binder. It's actually pretty big. And I have, you know, I actually keep notes on all my coaches in my binder also. So like when you do sit down and do their why, I actually write it down so I can refer back to it, you know, until I really get to know them better. But that makes people feel special when you know things about them and when you recognize them. So having a binder and having all this stuff laid out is very important. And Angie's lying; she's very organized. So you are. Anyway, consider providing participating coaches with a Coach Basics Business Bundle. And that could include things like the Challenge Yourself product catalog, You Will Love What Shakeology Does for You pamphlet, the 7-day quick start with your contact information already filled in, 8 copies of the Business Activity Tracker hole punched, 4 copies of the contact list hole punched, a memory jogger, and any materials that are specific to your team. Maybe you have something that you've developed in the culture of your team that you want to share. So these are just ideas. Obviously, they're not the only thing that you might want to do. I know Blake and Angie, they sent out a lot of copies of Eric Worre's GoPro to people that were at a certain level. And so you might have certain things that you want to do for your team that is just specific for your team.
So what's the BAT? The Business Activity Tracker. I love this thing. It's boy, it keeps you honest, I'll tell you that. The Business Activity Tracker is a crucial tool for the success of your Coach Basics group. And if you're not currently using the tracking system, really take the time to look at it, understand how it works. I believe it was Denise Needham who did the video on it. It breaks it down. Or was it Carrie Martin? I can't remember who did it. But it's a great video. Go back there and watch it. And then it just kind of breaks down how to use that tracker, how to really make it work for you. And the coaches at the leadership said that they collect those bats each week. And they were doing everything from posting them on the Google Drive, and or faxing, not faxing, scanning and emailing. And so they had all different ways that they were getting them. But they're sharing your coaches that are part of your business basics group. You need to turn those in so everybody stays accountable. So the BAT's a tool, again, that's going to help you align your goals. So like with Michelle and I can look at her, her BAT, and she's working for a certain goal, and that's the beauty of the BAT, is it kind of helps both of us stay on track with where she wants to go, where she told me she wanted to go. And you stress to your coaches that it's a tool to help them, not judge them, but it helps them kind of stay on track with what their activity is. And so again, it's not a judgmental thing. Nobody's going to rain fire on your head, or they might. I don't know.
Yeah, Angie,
depends on the coach. But I think that's a big. I think that Business Activity Tracker scares people when they think they have to share it because they feel like they're going to be judged, and that's not what it's for. But once you get into the role of things, you'll see maybe where you're kind of missing. You got some holes in your day where you could really be filling in that BAT and show where you can be a little bit more productive with your business day.
Yeah. Okay, Google Drive. This is a great tool. There are 2 different avenues you can go, or you can do both. One is when you have a Google account, you use Gmail, whatever, you can create a Google Drive and basically share it with everyone on your team. So you can upload any relevant documents. What Angie just said, you can have everyone upload their BATs. Another really great way to do it is on Facebook. And within your group itself, you can also share documents right in the group. And so if you notice any group you're a part of, there's actually a Documents tab or Files tab, I think it is. And so you can upload Word documents, any kind of things like that. So you can work it either way, but just know that these are free tools, and it's pretty amazing that you have that option. So go ahead and use it. Go ahead, Angie.
Well, and here's a really important part, and I think a lot of you that might be already doing challenge groups and stuff, encouraging participation is crucial. In addition to the daily posts from the guide, the added posts that you put in, that you encourage other people to put in, that will foster discussion and bonding. And your goal should be for your coaches to become friends. And the nice thing about the friendships that develop inside these support groups or in these private Facebook pages is that there's this great support. Everybody's kind of linking arms, and you kind of start to enjoy time hanging out together. Then when you get to leadership or summit, you've got this new group of people to go hang out with, right? Sure. And share pictures and kind of get your family in there. So there's a real strong, one girl, she was so funny. I can't remember her name. She had a cute idea. When a new person came into the group, she has every new person post the picture of their favorite pet.
Aww.
I thought that was kind of a cute idea. but we have to be the role model of accountability and reward accountability. So it kind of falls on us as leaders to lead the charge, come up with fun ideas. Like some of these girls had great fun ideas for really kind of creating this bonding and sharing fun stories, and like it says here, recipes, or and sometimes you do kind of have to call the quiet people out, and it's fun, especially if they do something exceptional. You can really put their name in there, say, hey, Michelle DeMarco, great job on going Emerald, and that quiet person will kind of peek out a little bit. But that's what's so important about, encouraging everybody to participate, because every once in a while people like to hear their name shouted out.
Yeah, and and it's true. You will make friends. I mean, I've made friends cross-line that I never would have met if it wasn't for these groups, and it's just pretty amazing. So definitely use that. The next thing you want to do is make sure you plan your communication and requests to appeal to different learning styles. This is really important. The more variety that you provide, the more your coaches will gain. So again, this kind of goes back to the video idea of, like, if you're doing videos and pictures and a daily written post, you're providing different ways for people to pick up information, because some people, they're not good readers. They don't even, it's like their eyes glaze over, but they love video. So if you're really trying to do all different avenues of communication, then you're going to find you're going to be able to engage more people. And then be sure to use the following phrases to encourage participation. This is, called using, well, this isn't actually an open-ended question, but try to use open-ended questions too. But this is, do you understand? What do you think of this? Is an example of an open-ended question, because they can't just answer yes or no. They have to elaborate, and that's really what you want to kind of throw out there. Why is this important? You've done so well. I'm proud of you. Those are just some really key phrases that you can use when you're communicating with your team.
Now here we're going to talk about motivating your coaches, and it's kind of a segue from what Michelle was just talking about, acknowledging jobs well done. Little milestones, even if it's, hey, I said I was going to make 6 phone calls and I did 8 today. I mean, that's pretty significant, especially for somebody that's new. And then telling your coaches when they're doing a good job, again, it's meaningful. And then give them feedback. Let your coaches know that their efforts are noticed and appreciated, but don't be afraid to give, when I say constructive criticism, if you hear something that maybe they're not saying maybe the right way, where they could say, instead of saying, if you need to help them tweak their verbiage a little bit, don't be afraid to share that with them, because it encourages them to grow and get better as well. And they really did talk about personalizing our training. So if you see somebody struggling within your group, kind of get in touch with them one-on-one, private message or do a phone call, and this will let them know that you're kind of seeing that they're maybe struggling a little bit, and that you're willing to kind of walk them through it, and you're not trying to fix it for them, but you're saying, like Michelle said earlier, it's like, you got this, I'm here to support you, let's just move forward, let's move through it, because that's how you grow.
Yeah, and I actually have a personal testimony regarding Angie about this, that I had something happened over the summer. It was just a really tough summer for me, and I was really quiet for a couple of weeks there. And Angie got on the phone, and instead of being like, hey, what are you doing? She was like, tell me what's going on. And just by having that, just by having someone that cared and was able to kind of, grab me out of my, whatever it was that was going on, it made me kind of resurface and go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm ready to, like, move forward now. Somebody cared, somebody listened, and now it's time to move on. And it can make such a huge difference. And then make motivation a team effort. So it's not just all you, right? Don't feel like the pressure, like, oh my gosh, I have to take care of all these people. But, everyone can participate. Reach out to those having success and ask them to become cheerleaders in your group and to help you post and to congratulate people. Use a buddy system. Have the participating coaches partner up to offer each other support and accountability outside of the group, and have them report back weekly in the Hangouts. That's something we also didn't talk about, but one of the tools that a lot of people are using are Google Hangouts, because let's face it, it's free, and it's an easy way to get 10 people online together that can talk and interact almost like as if they were in person. And people don't have to be on camera. They can leave the camera off, but encourage your team to get on the Hangouts every week. And then take the time to look at the long-term goals of coaches who are participating and help them to realize how the skills they're learning now have a practical application as their business will grow.
And they've got a lot of additional content. So if you'd like to add more of your own content, I mean, Beachbody's so ripe with content, right, Michelle? I mean, we've got so much good stuff there, and I forget to really point that out to the new coaches, and I think we should probably think about really taking people, show them where like all our newsletters are.
Yeah, this is such good stuff here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're rich with it, but sometimes we forget. So, but you can also, add more of your own content to the Coach Basic daily posts, and they give you some suggestions, and they can include each day. You can post names of 2 people that you've helped each day, or something that might, I love the non-related part, because then it's not all just about, all consume Beachbody. It could be, your neighbor next door, older lady, for an example, older lady that needed help shoveling her driveway. So, that was, you go and you help out. Share what meal was replaced with Shakeology, and that's one of one of my favorite things is to post my food. I love food, so that's one of my favorite things. If I make a really good meal, Michelle will own up to, or she'll back me on this one. I like to take a picture of something I made that was really good. It might not be pretty on the plate, but man, is it good! I want to share it with everybody.
It's one of those things that makes me want to move to Boise almost.
Yeah, and share your workouts. I did not realize the power of that myself. Share a quote from your daily personal development. Make posts. They're saying 3 posts a day to your Facebook. I think we all have that kind of nailed.
Yeah.
And one, do one about your story, one about the results of maybe friends or somebody in your challenge group, and post a picture. Simply indicate done for the daily post. And that what I'm learning for myself, because I struggled with Facebook for a really long time, I just made myself do it a little bit every day. And I'm starting to have a little bit of fun with it, because now I'm surprised how many people are commenting. And, oh, can you send me that recipe, or great job, or if you post something that's happening, it's interesting. I know, and I'm kind of new to Facebook, so it's interesting to me, the people that will surround you with love when you've had something kind of knock you off your block a little bit. And so I know for a fact now this is working. I'm seeing these posts are really having an effect on my page, and people are reaching out to me for, it's making a difference in the relationships I have on Facebook. Who knew, right, Michelle? I know you've been telling me this for years.
No, but it's
I'm late to the party, okay?
No, you're doing great. But and then I love that they recommended the compound effect as the book to go through the Coach Basics, because for those of you who haven't heard of it, it's written by Darren Hardy, who is the editor of Success Magazine. It's just a fantastic book about how the little things you do every day add to each other and compound, which is where that name comes from, to create success for you over time. And so you can basically purchase it online or get it in audio format. I have both, and you do them often. And be sure your participants have ordered it prior to the Coach Basics so that they're ready to talk about it. You want everybody to kind of engage when you're doing your Hangout. Recommend that coaches read or listen for at least 10 minutes a day. This way, I mean, you're going to have some people that are readers, and you're going to have some people that are like, I never read. So 10 minutes a day is actually very doable for someone that's not a reader, and you'll have some people that read it, in 2 days. But either way, just something small so that people don't get overwhelmed. And if you haven't already read it yourself, it's important that you read it along with your group.
And it's got great little exercises in it, that's for sure. Gets your brain thinking. So the materials that are included in there's a participant starter guide, and you're going to share this guide with the participants to ensure they're aware of their commitments. And that's something, and we talked about it at the very beginning of the call. As leaders, we have responsibilities, but as a participant, so do you, because there's got to be matched effort there, because that's the only way you're going to grow and have your business become what you want it to be. There's a daily coaching guide, and so there's the daily calendar of tasks, tips, motivation, lessons, and videos, and each day provides an overview and the Facebook posts and tips. And again, when Blake and I looked at this at leadership, we almost wanted to weep. We were so excited. We had tears of joy because it was so well put together, and the conversations that we got to have privately with founding coach Doug Fitzgerald and Mark Klenak, and I got to talk to Lindsay Matway, and it was interesting hearing these different people at different levels in their business that were part of this test group, this beta group, how it really made a significant difference in their business. And it was interesting talking to Lindsay because it wasn't Lindsay really leading the charge. She has surrounded herself with her diamonds that kind of took off with it, and she was just like, they just were gone because she didn't have to teach it to them because it was so well packaged and so well thought out, and they took it and ran with it, and they tweaked it and personalized it and made it their own. And so the feedback that we got from everybody was so positive. And Blake and I are founding coaches, so we're old dogs at this, and so we're always a little skeptical of all the new stuff that comes out. And I sat next to my husband at leadership, and he was like, I am so excited to get into this. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that little insight with you guys about our feelings while we were sitting there learning about this program.
Yes, and what are your commitments? So one of the things as a leader, you're committing to do the following activities. You're going to create a private Facebook page for the participants of the Coach Basics. I would do a group personally, but you can either do a page or a group. Collect business activity trackers every week. Engage in all the activities required of the participating coaches. So, you're not just telling people what to do, you're also doing it. And then engage with your group on Facebook and post daily to answer questions and provide encouragement. And then share personal stories and encourage others to reach their goals. If I could just say that one of the most motivating things you can do is to share personal stories, because that's really what draws people out. The stories sell, facts tell. And so more than anything you can do is share these stories with everyone you know, because that's what inspires people to want to change and to believe that they can do it too. Provide recognition, that's another huge thing, and complete all 60 days of the program. So this isn't a lot, and what I love is that it's so duplicatable, because you could be the best trainer in the world, but your coaches might look at you and go, I can't do what she does, right? So what's wonderful about this is anybody could do this. A brand new coach could take this and run with it, and if they were really passionate. So I love the duplicatable aspect of this program.
Yeah, I think every new diamond is going to be able to, the minute they graduate to diamond on Thursday, that next Monday they can start their first Coach Basics group. Like I said, and no new coach could do it, but when you're a diamond, you've got your own little group going now. You can kind of take them through it, but it's that duplicatable. The Coach Basics weekly agenda for calls and Google Hangouts, the accountability is so key here for the success for everybody, for you and for your participating coaches. And meeting with them weekly is extremely important. And you'll find they've got a suggested agenda. You can follow it each week. You can kind of tweak it the way you need it and develop it. And you'll have the content that you need for your Hangouts. And if the Hangouts will not work for you, then you should do a conference call. Go to webinars. I know people have had some wonky experiences with the Google Hangout, but
free conference call.
Free conference call. That's right. Yeah. So there's lots of options out there where you can get a group of people together. You just might not be able to see each other eyeball to eyeball, but you just got to stay connected. That's so important.
Yeah. So here's a sample. You would welcome and acknowledge each coach as they join the video call. So obviously as, Mary and Sally and Jane come in, hey, how are you doing, Greg? How you doing, Mike? And then you're going to take the time to recognize each participant. And here's the thing, as you do this, you're going to get to know them better. You're going to know that this person, even if they didn't rank advanced, maybe they sold 3 challenge facts. So recognize them for what they're doing and use the business activity tracker to highlight, even if they just made a couple phone calls, so everyone has some recognition. Accomplishments, you're going to want to ask each coach to share which one of the 6 tasks from the previous week had the most impact on their business and why. You might find it easier if you tell them that they each have a minute or 2 to share, because you don't want these to go too long, and you want to keep them succinct and timely. But so maybe even have a timer so you can, you don't want to feel bad about cutting someone off, but just, make sure everyone stays within a minute or 2. But it's great that they all will get a chance to talk.
I'm sorry, I had myself on mute. I was trying to be quiet. I was so quiet I was talking and nobody could hear me. And so here's a sample agenda for each meeting. The compound effect. Each week, I did a mastermind group with this book. It's that good. So I'm just going to edify that book one more time, just like you did, Michelle. Each week, you're going to want to ask what lessons were learned from reading the compound effect. And at the end of each chapter, there's action steps. And I'm serious, you guys, these action steps, they make you think. Some of them are super easy, and some of them you kind of, you gotta have to look in your heart a little bit. Choose one action step and ask your coaches to share what they learned from it. It's a cool, this is, I think, probably one of the best bonding things we ever did in our mastermind group when we did this book. You guys will learn so much about each other. The week ahead, based on the upcoming week's topics, briefly get your coaches excited for the week ahead. It's like, you just gotta have to build from event to event to event, like Eric Worre says. And motivation. End each week with motivation. Thank your coaches, for showing up, for taking time out of their family time, their busy day. It's so important to thank people for showing up, because that's, I don't know, Michelle, I'm gonna say that's 90%. Just show up. Just share a favorite quote from your favorite story. But like I said, I think showing up is just the most important thing. So if you can make them feel so excited to show up, half your job is done right there, to get them excited to show up every week and participate.
I totally agree. And some last additional tips, you're going to respect everyone's time by starting on time and ending on time. Limit the call to no longer than an hour. And make the call as interactive as possible by calling on coaches who may be quieter. So, again, you might want to take one of those open-ended questions or your discussion topic about the compound effect and say, if someone's just really not talking a lot, just say, hey, Mary, what do you think about this? And so that they feel invited and they feel more comfortable talking. If someone presents a challenge, make sure to ask the coaches how they would overcome it, and don't immediately try to answer it yourself. What does this do? Not only does it give other people the chance to talk, but it also grooms them to be leaders themselves, right? So you're putting someone in that role of leader. If you want your coaches to be able to come up with their own resolutions and help each other, that's what they're saying. You want them to be able to problem solve on their own. So if you become this person that's constantly answering questions, then you're kind of making them reliant on you. Whereas if you make your group super interactive and ask for other people's opinions, you're teaching everyone to solve their own issues and help each other.
Yeah, it's like building a muscle. If we are constantly trying to, it's like being the mom, you're trying to fix everything for them all the time, or it's that muscle. It's good to get them thinking fast on their feet or thinking on their feet. And, and sometimes I think new coaches are just unsure of what the answer is, and I think it's so gratifying for me when I go, well, tell me what you would do. And then, they kind of put their little toe in the water, and it's so fun when you say, that's it, that's exactly it, you nailed it, that's exactly what I would do. And so just kind of give them that a little bit and help them build that confidence muscle up a little bit.
Right, exactly. So basically, I just, I told you I'd show you the actual coaching guide, and just wanted to throw this up there and show you how simple this is. I mean, anybody can do this, right, Ange?
Oh, absolutely. And again, you can personalize a little bit. You can edit and delete, do a video post. I mean, there's so much you can do with this, but the great thing is it's got great bones. The foundation is there. You don't have to recreate the wheel. I'm just going to take something from, just do it.
Yeah.
and get engaged in it.
Exactly. And so That's the nuts and bolts of it. And I really believe in my heart that if we all start engaging and using this, our teams are going to explode. It's just going to be an incredible year end for everyone. And I think I just can't wait to get started.
No, me too, Michelle, and I know Blake feels the same way. And again, for our group, we're gonna put our own little kind of stamp on it for, because we know people have big expectations and some people have different things going on in their life. So we know we're going to have all these different personalities within the group. So that's what's so beautiful about this is you can kind of tailor it to the culture in your business and run with it and have probably one of the most important things, have fun with it. So people, your coaches are coming into this going, wow, not only am I learning and growing my business, but I'm having fun. And it's not, I think when they first start, they might feel a little stressed. But show them how you can just make it a stress-free, and then when that new coach graduates to Diamond, they're now going to know, I got this. It's all there right for me. I got this. I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, we have like a couple more minutes, but I don't see any questions yet, and I'll give you another 30 seconds to type up a question if you have anything to say or comment about even. And Angie, do you have any last-minute announcements or?
No, we'll just for our team, we'll be posting the details for our group, and we'll get that out as soon as possible. Like I said, we're just trying to put the kind of the final details together of what our vision is for our Coach Basics group, and we just really appreciate everybody's time, and we really hope you'll take the time to embrace this. Again, this is the last quarter of the year. This is going to really, I don't want to say the word explode. It's going to really make a huge difference in your business if you do this and you put the time and the effort into it. Rolling into January, you will have so much steam and so much momentum. It could be a game changer for you in 2014. And every month, October, November, December, your income is going to grow every month. And again, like I said, your momentum going into the new year is going to be outstanding. So don't take that lightly. Dig in.
Yes, and thank you guys. We don't have any questions, so we're going to close it out and see you next week.
Okay, everybody take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye.